Hey everyone, I'm Kim Horcher from NerdAlert, and I'm joined by one of our wonderful editors, Elle, and she's also a very good seamstress. She did not want me to say seamstress, but we're doing it. Now, we're both wearing these shirts that you can get from our Indiegogo campaign if you are a donor. But as you can see, they are in men's sizes, and my shirt is not as cute as Elle's. So Elle is going to show us how to modify them in a couple different ways.
All right, so there's two different ways you can do it. One is like the way I have it, which I use a sewing machine for. Obviously, it's more form-fitting than Kim's. I cut the sleeves off, and I brought in the sides, and I cut the bottom a little bit. So I'm going to show you a different way, which is without a sewing machine, since I know a lot of people don't have sewing machines. And it doesn't have any hems, so it's just strictly cutting, so it should be easier. So let's go into that one first.
Okay.
Okay, so for the first design, where we're just doing no hems at all, this requires just scissors and nothing else. I'm going to start by cutting off the sleeve here, and you can kind of make it as thick or thin as you want the strap to be. So just start with this left one. And then you want to cut the collar off, just so that you can have a more relaxed look. And you can go deeper if you want a deeper neck. Here's the basic part, and you usually want to pre-wash before you do this if you want it to fit properly. And then you can also cut off the bottom, which I usually do, just to have the same look all around. All right, and there you go. And if you want, you can kind of stretch the bottom seams or any of the seams that have been cut so that they'll start to curl. So you just use your fingers to go like this, and they'll start to curl all around. And there's Kim in her brand new shirt, and fits nice and looks great on ladies. So as you can see, I have a sewing machine with me, and if you have a lot of patience, you can do it without a sewing machine, but I don't have that much patience. So we're gonna start by laying out the shirt. And what I usually do to make it more precise is find a shirt that I like the fit, how it fits me. So I have a shirt that Kim gave me that fits her really well, and this is how she wants this shirt to fit her. So I'm going to use it as pretty much like a pattern to cut around. And I'm just going to cut around this shirt. And you make sure to leave some extra room so that you'll have a place to hem while you sew it up. So I'll start by cutting the bottom. So just again, I'm going to make it a little bit longer. And since this is going to be a sleeveless shirt, I'm just going to fold her sleeves back really quick. And then I'm going to cut the sleeves. I'm going to make sure that I don't cut too far from the edge on this one so that I know that the armholes will fit. So just kind of follow what I do. Again, leave a little extra room. I'm just going to cut to where the sleeve ends here, and then I'm going to cut down to cut the rest of the sleeve off. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And then we're going to measure the sides. So this is where we're going to go up, and we're just going to kind of make it curve like her shirt does originally. And again, leave an extra inch or so for the hem. So now what I usually do here is I fold it over, because sometimes they come out uneven. So you just want to make sure the armholes kind of fit with each other. And then as you can see, this one's a little bit longer, so I'm just going to cut this one so it matches. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hem the armholes. For this, I use a zigzag setting, but it's going to be set at like a 2.5, so it's not a very big zigzag. And I'm just going to fold over where the armholes are, just a little bit, like that, so we can have a hem. And you're going to start at the end, and you're just going to go around. And so just try to keep the fabric the same spacing the entire way around. And if you notice, I'm stepping back on the sewing machine just so that it doesn't come undone. And then the next thing I do is I sew up the bottom and do the hemming at the bottom. And again, just do an inch or so of hem, maybe less. Same thing on the other side. Just make sure it's the same length of fold over on the two sides so that when you sew them back together, they'll match up. Last part is just sewing up the sides. So you're gonna make sure that the shirt is inside out so that when you sew up the sides, you won't see it. And then just match up at the armpit and at the very bottom so that they match. And then I usually start at the bottom because if you get to the arm and it's a little bit off, you can always hide it there. And then I'm gonna switch my thread pattern to just a straight sew so there's no zigzag. And keep it about the same spacing, like 2.5. And then just follow the edge. And then kind of just go and cut off all the extra thread.
I like this a lot. It's professional as opposed to the other one. But that was so easy. When my grandma used to sew, she made it look like the hardest thing in the world. There was pins and graph paper and measurements and a little bit of glue. But that was, it makes me want to take up sewing now.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, you said I was a seamstress. I'm not a seamstress at all. Like, this is just like an easy way for anybody to be able to do it. Like, I obviously didn't use any pins or anything. You could do that if you want to be more precise, but this is just the easy way to do it. And it turns out it fits, so there you go.
I like it a lot. So you can do that with your very own Young Turks power shirt, or any other shirt, but preferably the power shirt. Please check that out on our Indiegogo page.